Hello and welcome to another Adventure Habits podcast where we interview the finest adventurers in the world. Because I'm in charge of Splash Maps, we make maps for adventurers, we meet the best people, and we like to ask them their habits that they can pass on to you. And I'm absolutely delighted for the second pod in a row. We've got another Royal Marine veteran here. Please meet Dave Coleman. Dave, say hi.
Hi David, thanks very much for having me on. Really appreciate it, and really looking forward to having a chat with you today and everything like that. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much, and I'm really appreciative to Night Watches for putting us in contact with each other. I thought you might have one of those fabulous looking things. Well, Dave, tell me a little bit about. So, what I know is that you run a business called C2C, which is Civvy to Commando, and you get people ready for the kind of more arduous end of the adventure spectrum that we talk about on this podcast. Why don't you tell me a bit about the business, how it came about, and what you're doing with people now and where they end up?
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, David. So obviously, being a former Royal Marine, I was left pondering one day what business could I set up? And I was listening to podcasts and audiobooks about, what skills do you have that not many other people have? What do you already know, and find a way to monetize something you know and you like. And I thought the Royal Marines is the longest military training course there is. I've got a lot of skills from that and experience. How can I pass that on? And I thought about preparing people to join the Royal Marines to help them get fit using online coaching, military training programs, and then getting them together on a sort of 3-day pre-Royal Marine weekend camp, and teaching them soldiering skills, fitness, the outdoor skills like map reading, everything like that, and just sending them down to Lewiston ahead of the game. And where I thought it would just be around military preparation. But then we soon realised there was a massive market for this, for civilians, for civvies who just want to come and have a go. And that's where we ended up setting up like bushcraft and survival weekends down on Dartmoor with our good friend, mutual friend, Nick Goldsmith.
Yeah, it's so nice to know you guys have got a crossover. That was a hidden gem for us. But
I can't speak highly enough of Nick. He is an expert in what he does, and I'm no shame in saying that we bring in people with more experience than us who are much better subject matter experts. Like Nick is the survival guru. He was the perfect person to bring in, and we served at 4-5 Commando together. And then we do mountaineering weekends, so the likes of Wales, Scotland, and we take people into the outdoors, into the mountains, learning map reading from scratch. And the idea is to challenge people, but for them to come away from this weekend and say, I had no clue how to go into the mountains by myself, wasn't sure the way to do it safely. I could go and do that now, and I could go and take friends or family members and feel safe doing it.
Yeah, I think that's a terrific and valuable thing for anyone to pick up. And so in a nutshell, what you're doing is the thing that kind of crossover between what you love doing and what you can monetize, and like your purpose actually, to get people not just with the sole intention of joining the military, but people just to see what their potential may be, and put that into a survival context too.
100%, David. So I very naively thought when I set this up, I was going to be a military preparation company, and that was it. I was going to help prepare people to join the Royal Marines, and I would say it's an even split now. We probably have 50% people who want to join the military. Any form, doesn't have to be the Royal Marines. And then the rest are just civilians who either like us, just like the outdoors, or they just are a bit mad, want a challenge, like something different. Watching Netflix all Saturday and Sundays, not really for them. And they want to go and experience things rather than just sit and watch other people do it on a device.
It sounds like a great entry point to, anyone who wants to go to the more kind of audacious adventuring part of their lives. And I have a real strong belief that the more time you spend adventuring slightly outside your comfort zone or whatever, then the more life experiences you're going to have, the better experience you'll have of life. And that's exactly why we have people like you on this show. So I really want to know how people can get involved with you guys and what they can expect over, say, this coming season. We're going into kind of mid-late summer now. What have you got on the books?
So we've got a mountaineering weekend to Scotland coming up, which is from Friday the 8th until Sunday the 10th of August. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're essentially meeting on the Friday afternoon up in Ben Nevis, around like the Fort William area. We're going to get stuck into the maps, learn the area, learn the routes, make route cards, and prepare ourselves for the next day. And then we're going to do some challenging routes on the Saturday and the Sunday, some good social time. So we're looking to bag mountains, but we're looking to learn, but we're also looking to have a bit of fun, a good social laugh, and all sort of come together. Every time that we've done this with the groups that we take, 18 to 20 odd strangers come together, and by the end, they're all mates. They meet up, they do reunions, they come back together. Something really special happens in the outdoors that I don't think you can replicate in a pub, in a bar. It's shared hardship and it's shared accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, this is coming, close to our festival season. We're going to be at the Armchair Adventure Festival, where there's a lot of bushcrafting and outdoor skills, and it's actually one of my festivals, one of my few chances to get out under canvas. So I kind of I embrace that. But yours sounds like it's kind of, is it a long weekend, and what kind of preparation do people need to have for this? Presumably you must look for a level of fitness before people come in. What kind of pre-testing is there of folks before they actually embark?
100%. So we have a sort of variety of different camps, like the survival weekends. The only requirement is you can walk over uneven terrain and you can cope with sleeping outside for 2 nights. That's it. No fitness, no hardship.
Really,
mountaineering weekends. That's it. Yeah. The mountaineering weekends start off and get harder. Scotland's going to be a challenging weekend. You must be able to walk over uneven terrain and mountains for the minimum of 8 hours per day, carrying a rucksack. However, we break everyone off into smaller groups there. Now, if we've got 6 people who are training for the military or training for an Ironman, or they really want to push themselves, we'll put them together, and that group will go at a faster pace. Now, there might be a group who are fairly fit, but they're happy just walking around, taking photos, learning map reading, and like socializing. So they'll go a little bit slower. And there might be 6 people who are completely new to this, a little bit anxious or apprehensive, and just want to make it through the actual challenge. That's fine. We'll go at their pace. So everyone gets what they come for. We can attract a wide variety of fitness levels, but as long as you've got the base level, everyone can get the experience they want by breaking them down into groups of abilities.
I think that could be great. I mean, I was talking with someone the other day who's a police cadet joining the police, and he actually, let's talk about this broadly. So he said basically the fitness test for the police was like the easiest thing that he'd ever done in his life, and I kind of wonder whether there's an avenue for people actually, if that's the base level. Clearly we want our police to be able to carry out things that require some physical strength. You might actually be augmenting some of that as well. It's just a thought, but it just sort of seemed to me that in a lot of the uniformed services, actually the health fitness requirement is not going to be as great as yours, of course. But we could actually do with some that do have that capability.
100%. I think it's a catch-22 in terms of to anyone from the outside looking in, we would think of a police chasing someone down an alleyway, trying to catch them, and we think you have to be fit to do that. However, chances are the amount of police they have to recruit and bring in, they have to allow a lower standard, unfortunately, to allow them in. But I think with everything comes good preparation before you go on to a course or a potential career that you want to do. If you don't arrive there prepared as you could possibly be, with the mindset of I want to hit the highest standards possible, I think we would disagree on the mindset that you've got for the career you're choosing.
Yeah, I guess that's part of it as well. You're working on the mindset, and that's something is that something that you've carried through from your military days before you left?
100%, David. And I think I only really took this in upon reflection recently. I started going into public speaking in the corporate sector, which, having a stammer, you've probably seen here, seems ironic. Eyes are quite hard for me as well. But I was reflecting on something, and I didn't join the Royal Marines thinking I had mindset. I was 16. I was just thinking I want to make it through this thing and not get back through. That's all I was thinking. But I went there and I said, I'm never going to quit, ever. I'm just going to go and keep going until someone goes, mate, that's enough. You're not quite good enough. Sorry about that. And even then, I'll go kicking and screaming. I'll try and stay. And it wasn't until reflecting really that was mindset. Now, had I trained that before I went? No, I think maybe life had prepared me for that. My upbringing, my childhood, having a stammer from being a very young child, built a bit of resilience, and it taught me to crack on through adversity. But I didn't realise that until very recently, when I looked back and thought, do you know what? I probably actually had a mindset without realising it. Now, I realise that now, and I can pass that on to people before they even go, and sort of help them with the mindset that helped me, and maybe get them to look at the whole overwhelming perspective of like joining the Royal Marines Commandos with a different set of glasses on and look through it in a slightly easier way.
Oh, well, fantastic. Well, it's great. I mean, you've delved into your childhood then. I would never have spotted that you had any problem with stuttering at all. It's obviously you're great with coping mechanisms as well, which is probably the mindset coming in too. It's going to sound a bit random here, but I really want to ask you because your military background, etc. The military is changing. It seems to be. I've seen, your regiment. I always think I'm simple-minded. I haven't been in the military, and the Royal Marines are kind of first in, and coming normally from the water side, creating bridgeheads, securing perimeters, doing all that stuff and pushing forward. So they're looking for a particular type of person. Nowadays, there's the Rangers regiment as well, and so the people I come across more often are the Special Forces, because the Special Forces are buying our map. We're trying to get them into the Royal Marine, but the Rangers seem to sit somewhere in between. Where is the military going?
Well, everything's changing. As we've seen in the last few years, the way wars are being fought now, like terrifyingly, are being fought off these, a drone flying over, being controlled by something small, all of this stuff, which is incomprehensible to think how challenging and sort of difficult, scary that would be. The Marines, yes, we are the amphibious capability, and like Commando raiders, but we also, delve into all of the sort of like typical foot soldiering work, but at a very high standard. But it seems to be the Marines are changing direction now and moving into small teams having a large impact. They're almost mimicking or going down the route of Special Forces tactics. I know we aren't the same, not for a second saying that we are the same, but what the route they are going down is what the Special Forces were doing years ago. And what I wanted to say to you with your maps being used by Special Forces, everything that Special Forces do eventually does trickle down the chain to the likes of the Marines, the Paras, the Rangers. They see special forces guys doing, shooting drills a certain way and think if it's good enough for them, it has to be good enough for us. Hence the small teams that we're using now. The likes of kit, all of the lads now dress like special forces lads dress and everything like that. It just happens naturally because they are the top, the pinnacle, the absolute creme de la creme of UK soldiering or the world soldiering. It becomes only natural progression to follow their example, if you will. So, yeah, it seems like we're moving in a much different direction to move with the times. What worked then won't necessarily work now because the war would look different, the technology's different, and we have to almost chameleon to what's in front of us and put out a different form of soldier of warfighting of us, basically, to suit that.
So the kind of old days of, one sergeant major at the top and telling loads and loads of people to do exactly this thing now, that's reducing probably across the military, I'd imagine. And it's more these kind of cohesive, small groups that can make decisions for themselves and handle this new technology, which can be handled by one person, whereas in the past it was like a whole fleet. When you think about a drone, the capability of a drone, you'd have to have a pilot in an aeroplane to do half the things that a drone does now, and then the logistics team on the ground to keep that serviced and going, etc. It must be a very different game now, I'd imagine.
100%. I mean, there will still and there will always be rank structure there. There has to be. But when I joined up and I went to 4-5 Commando, we were in a company of, let's say, 100 people, and I was in a troop of 30 people. Now, I believe you will still be in like troops, but you'll break down into your smaller teams and learn to work in a smaller format. But having a larger impact seems to be the way that the Royal Marines, anyway, are moving with now. And I don't doubt other people will follow that sort of method.
This is great. I mean, it's interesting for me because it's something that you see happening in workplaces and work structures now throughout the economy. It is people working in smaller teams, less hierarchy, and having the ones that work well have got a lot more autonomy. They can make decisions on their own, and they're trusted to get the work done. So it's terrific to see it manifest in the military as well, and hopefully that means that our military will still remain the best in the world, of course. Hello to all our American listeners as well. So, I mean, and you're, like I was saying to you before we started this interview, we had Steve Martindale, whose podcast went out quite recently. He's a veteran Royal Marine, like your good self. I think you know each other, or there's a connection there somehow, and so he's reenacting things like Operation Frankton from the Second World War, the Falklands. We made a sea chart for them to go out to the Falklands. We've just turned that into a product and put that out as well, going alongside his pod. And of course, we got our ambassador, Nick Goldsmith, who was already alluded to earlier on. Not interviewed him yet for this, but I'm so looking forward to it. But paternity has got in the way of that for the time being. And we'll catch up with him. I mean, he's bound to stop reproducing at some point.
I love Nick. I couldn't speak highly enough of Nick. He is, like I said, like survival expert. He'll probably dial into this through a piece of bamboo or something like that he's made. No idea how he's done it. Seeing him at work, because I've obviously known him from like the military, but then to have him come down and teach survival on our survival weekends, I've never seen anything like it. Our team of instructors are all Royal Marines mountain leaders who are thought of as the creme de la creme, really, within the military. And we were all stood behind looking at him going, I didn't know that. I've never seen that before. Like, how's he done that? And it was amazing to behold that level of skill and knowledge. He's very, very passionate about what he does. And yeah, really good bloke to have on.
Yeah. And he just a terrific guy. And look for him on this podcast. He will be there in the end, but there's lots of stuff on our on our blog posts, etc., about Nick, and he's done some terrific videos, obviously navigation orientated. So if you look for Nick Goldsmith and Splash Maps on YouTube, you'll find all the stuff there. Well, let's not forget, Dave, why we're here, because, you know, we want to get all our listeners adventuring more frequently. We've said the big benefits of that earlier on. And so I'm going to now ask you for what is your number one on your list of 5 adventure habits that you'd like to pass on to our listeners.
So my main number one adventure habit, and like you said to me prior to the call, do you have them ready? My number one is prepare. In everything that you do. All of the P's, you know, my company's motto is 99.99% did not prepare, because there used to be this stat that for the Royal Marines, 99.99% need not apply because you don't fit the bill, because you aren't good enough. All of that because the failure rate was so high. But my belief is if you prepare, you can achieve anything. But for the outdoors, for adventure, preparation can be the difference between life and death. You know, I've been out and the weather's changed that rapidly that if I didn't have all of the kit packed that I've learned from my days in the Royal Marines, I could have gone, you know, having your like spare warm clothes waterproofed within another waterproof bag, your waterproof set, your spare socks, your dry kit, all individually waterproofed, spare food, spare water, survival kit, all of this. I know it sounds over the top and you don't need, you know, you'll learn what kit you need and what you don't, but just prepare.
Yeah, I need to take that one on board. I went out mountain biking on a very frosty morning back in December. And the one thing I didn't pick up was my phone, and I had inadequate puncture protection and whatever. And it was the weirdest experience I had of picking up random people and asking favors, and, you know, and I'm not going to go into the details, but, you know, preparation is as simple as, sometimes it's as simple as having the habit of making sure that stuff's all together for your regular stuff. I cycle all the time, and it was just that time I just forgot to put these things together. But prepare, I think, is a superb first habit. I'll try and take that
one on that. You know, when we were out in Afghanistan, so we would go out on a 12-hour patrol. It'd be 50 degrees, right? And you would come back, you'd be exhausted. All you want to do is go and get some water and sit down and take off your kit. The first thing that we do when we get back to base is take all of our batteries and put them on charge. We prepare for the next patrol before we even think about rest. We're already preparing for the next one by making sure the batteries go on charge, your weapon gets cleaned, your magazines get released, everything like this. You're already preparing before you've even chilled out from that one. You know, always thinking one ahead.
That's superb, because we can all learn from that. Because the temptation is, you've done whatever you're doing, you've got back to base, probably your house in my case. You know that there's going to be a warm shower upstairs, but before you get down to that, it's a case of getting everything ready for the next one. And
deservice, reservice.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try and take that one on board, because I know notoriously I am bad at that. So sorry to anyone I've let down on that account from our various adventures. On number 2, what's your number 2 habit?
There's no such thing as bad weather, only unsuitable clothing.
I like that one.
Yeah, we got taught during training, you know, like always have your like waterproof coat with you. If it starts raining, you automatically put it on. You don't wait for someone to tell you. You don't wait for, is it going to rain for long? It's on. You are now suitable. You are now ready for the rest of the day, because if your warm jacket was on and that got wet, and now you end up in a survival scenario, you don't have a warm jacket, you have a sponge full of water, which won't help you. Having kit you can trust that you know works, so suitable clothing, 100%.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, I love that. And, I'd extend that to the maps as well. Either you've got a paper thing you have to put inside a plastic bag, or you've got something that will survive the elements, not dissimilar to this sort of thing or that sort of thing. Okay, so great. No such thing as bad weather, just the wrong sort of clothes. So make sure you've got the right kit that way. What's your number 3?
I love this one because it's a hard one to do when you're getting into this habit, but it always pays off, is be bold, start cold. So if I'm at the foot of a mountain and I'm about to set off and it's freezing cold, it's 6 a.m., all I want on is that big, thick North Face really dark puffer jacket on, that's really, really warm. That's what I want on. But you've got to be bold. You've got to take it off and you've got to put it away, because after 5 minutes walking, you're going to be sweating, you're going to be soaking, you're going to be roasting hot, too hot. You've got to think ahead to, in 5 minutes' time, I'm probably going to be roasting going up that hill. So I'll start bold with less clothing on. Obviously, if it's sideways rain, well, you're waterproof, I'm not saying that, but be bold, start cold.
Oh, okay. I like that. I know that one fits perfectly for hiking and running and all those other things. I mean, I guess the only time I can see that it might fall down is if you're a cyclist and you're starting off going down a hill. That's always the one
Agreed.
that gets me. That's the frozen chest experience is not a nice experience. But I've seen like Nick, when he did Offers Dyke a couple of years ago. He's always doing a challenge in January, and he sleeps out and does all the cold stuff. And I look at that and I can't. Well, would you choose to start cold there? But I guess he's probably following that's a Royal Marine thing, is it?
Yeah, it very much is. If we set off on a patrol, on a tactical move, and the enemy are watching, we don't have time to stop, so you can take off your jacket, your body armor, to get that layer off and to put that away and to open clips and to make noise, because you couldn't be bold for 5 minutes. We have to think like that. It's like tactical thinking, yes, but also for the civilian world, it works, because if you've sweated through your down jacket, that's now pretty much useless if you need to, go into an emergency situation.
That's it. So treat that warm stuff as like your emergency baggage rather than...
That's gold. That's gold. Yeah. You've got to look after it, got to protect it.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, just remind me, how heavy is the rucksacks that you carry now? Has that changed since the First World War? Because I heard a rumour.
I mean, as you can probably tell by my skin, I wasn't around during the First World War, so I can't tell you that. However, it was heavy. All I can say is it was heavy. I don't doubt in history they've lifted heavier. But yeah, it was challenging. I found this challenging during training until I'd done enough of it that I became accustomed to it.
Yeah. I can't remember where I heard it from, but it's actually the weight of the rucksack hasn't changed. It's just there's more stuff in it, because every time they work out like how to make something lighter, they're great. We can stick something else on him.
Yeah. That's it. 100%.
Fantastic. So be bold and start cold. I like that one. I'll start using that one myself as well. Let's see how that works, and I'll just have to cycle uphill when I get going. What's the fourth one?
Learn the basics. So not overreaching. So you have to earn the right to go and do something which is a bit more technical. You can't just go straight out without knowing the basics, i.e., do you have the right kit? Do you have the right clothing? Do you know what you're doing? Do you have a map? Do you have a compass? Do you know how to use a map and compass? You can't just... I see people when I'm out who are in gym leggings, trainers, and blah, 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 right? And all right, it is nice and sunny weather night. Sort of right now. What if you break your ankle? What if the weather came in? You're now stuck in inappropriate clothing with a map. With no map, sorry. And how do you get home, right? You've got to learn the basics first. You've got to earn the right to do the more complicated stuff. If you don't know how, ask someone to teach you. But yeah, learn the basics before you go out and put yourself or others at risk.
That's almost like seeing it as a hierarchy of things that you've got to understand. It's like a pyramid. You're going up with the elite stuff at the top, but at the basic level, it's the map reading. Do you know what a compass is for, and all that sort of stuff. It's
Hmm.
interesting you say that. When I was just looking at a bit of social media before I came on here, and we see a lot of navigation training ones that are out there. And the latest one I saw said the moor is littered with the bodies we use for navigation because the moss always grows on the north side of them. That was quite a nice way of getting across how the habit now of just following your phone with whatever app or Google Maps or whatever the native map might be on it, and just heading out into a remote area is just not the right thing to do. So let's knock
There's
that
a
one.
reason. There's a reason why the experts don't do that. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
And the proof is the experts are still here, right?
Correct. That's
It's
it.
like
I agree.
almost Darwinian. That's fantastic. Okay, so well, we've reached the fifth one. What is your fifth habit?
So really simple. Just go. Don't overthink. Don't overcomplicate. Don't get over analysis paralysis, which means you overthink something so much that you don't go and do it. I'm an overthinker, so I can really relate to this. And sometimes I think, oh, I haven't got this, I haven't got that. Oh, just go and start. Do what you enjoy. You know, start off with things that you like to do. I have never regretted a day in the outdoors ever.
Yeah,
Every time that I used to wake up from a night drinking, I'd say I'm never doing that again. I've never come off a day out within the outdoors and said I'm 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 never doing that again. Apart from during Royal Marines training, a couple of times I might have said that, and that's okay
I was
because it
going
was
to
hard.
press you on that.
But but generally, um, you won't regret it. The hardest thing's starting, so start basic and just build your way up. Learn the basics. Be bold, start cold. No such thing as bad weather. Prepare. Good
I
to go.
think, and you've run through them beautifully. I mean, that last one, just go. If you've got the other four in place, then you've got no reason not to go because you know you're going to be safe, sound. You know that you're going to be back, and all your kits. You're probably not going to use half of it, but you'll be glad that it was there just in case. So that's fantastic. So we've got the five habits. Prepare, prepare, prepare. No such thing as bad weather, which sort of relates to your kit. And be bold, start cold, learn the basics, and then just go. Well, I am so grateful to you being the latest one of our military veterans to come onto this. I would really encourage people to sign up. I mean, like you were saying, it's from across the spectrum of adventure. You can join Dave and his team as they do survival weekends. Sounds like that one would be an awesome one, actually. So I might have to sign up to that one myself and
You're welcome anytime.
come along and meet some of my old friends there as well, by the sounds of it. Um, and Dave, I just want to wish you the very best of luck. I want to thank you for passing on your wisdom to all our listeners. Is there anything that you want to add at this point? Any way that people can get in touch directly with you, for example?
Yeah, come and find us with Civvy, which is spelled Civvy, two, as in number two, Commando. So like Civvy to Commando. Drop me a message and I'll always pick up. But to anyone looking to start the outdoors, just go.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And of course, we'll put that link with the descriptions on all of the platforms that we're pushing this out on. And so it's up to you, dear listener, to like, share, subscribe, but most importantly, learn from the terrific adventure habits that Dave has been kind enough to pass on to us all today. So, Dave, thank you so much for your time. And yeah, I'll see you out there adventuring.
Thanks a lot, David. Thanks for having me on.